Hello, I'm Minnie Scipio. Welcome to County Courier. Today I'm talking with Abbott Woodall, the Executive Director for Housing Partnerships Incorporated. Housing Partnerships is a unique organization that helps families who may not otherwise be able to afford home repairs. Welcome, Abbott.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about when Housing Partnerships was established and exactly what you do.
Housing Partnerships was formed in 1985. It was created by a group of citizens who saw a need to help their less affluent neighbors make some very basic but critical home repair needs to their house. Things such as replacing roofs or repairing rotting bathroom floors, that type of situation. So we've been around since 1985, and in that time we've taken that mission and expanded it to include not just the city of Williamsburg, but also James City County and York County as well.
Okay. How are you funded?
We're funded through private donations from individuals and businesses. We are a United Way partner agency, so we receive an annual allocation from the United Way, and we also receive some funding from the 3 jurisdictions which we serve. Additionally, we do seek out foundations, state, federal grants, those types of resources when available.
Okay, you have 4 different areas that you focus on when you're offering assistance. One of them is home repair. Tell me a little bit more about some of the types of home repairs that you do.
Well, again, basically we're looking at those repairs that are going to allow our clients to continue to live within that home. So basic safety and health related types of issues. Again, roofs are a big issue. If your roof's leaking, obviously you can't continue to live safely in that home, along with making sure that you have a stable floor. In the wintertime, we have a lot of heating systems, and in the summer, I guess, cooling systems, particularly for our elderly and disabled clients in particular. Mm-hmm. But it runs the gamut. We do any type of repair that would impact the health or safety of our clients, we will look at.
Okay. One of the other programs is your home modification program. Did this deal with making homes more accessible for individuals who may not be able to afford it?
We started that program several years ago, and really it expanded upon the emergency repair side of our operation to focus on the widening of doorways, the handicap ramps, the accessible bathrooms. We took a broader view of what's going to allow our clients to live safely but also independently as possible within their own home. So that was originally funded through a grant from the Williamsburg Community Health Foundation. When that grant ran out, we have since been seeking other funding, and we fund that predominantly through private donations and business contributions.
Mm-hmm. Now with that program, do you also maybe lower cabinets and things of that nature where you have someone in a wheelchair that may not be able to reach certain level of cabinets or counter space and things of that nature so that they can operate in their home?
Yes, I mean, if that's a need that the homeowner approaches us with, it's something we would certainly be willing to look at doing for them. It's not something we've done a whole lot of, mm-hmm. but it is something we'd be willing to do. We have gone as far as adding bathrooms to the first floor of homes. When we've had some disabled clients who had a bedroom on the first floor, but their only bathroom in the home was on the second floor. Well, that obviously isn't going to work in that situation. So what we've done is found space within the home and even expanded the footprint of the home to add that bathroom. And one of the core strengths of our organization is that the vast majority of the work that we do is done with volunteers, mm-hmm. so that the actual cost of these repairs is much lower than it would be if we had to contract that labor out.
Right. Another area that you focus on is home repair. I know that this is a major project. What would constitute you having to replace someone's total home? What type of criteria would you look at to be able to replace somebody's home?
When we look at a house, we look at it, and there are some state guidelines for the types of work that we do. And what we go by is what they call housing quality standards. It's a guideline that basically addresses the safety and the ability of someone to continue to live in that home. So when we find that there are so many issues that to the cost of making all the repairs necessary to bring that home to some safe level is greater than just replacing the home, we will work with that family and that household to find low interest financing to demolish the existing home and then rebuild it on the same site. We use the model that many people are familiar with with Habitat, using volunteer labor. We also do that, but the difference being that ours is replacing of existing housing stock as opposed to seeking out new home ownership creation types of programs. But we don't do many of those. We do 1 to 2 a year at most. They're very labor intensive, but they are, unfortunately, I think there's something that's going to be on the rise as we see that a lot of the housing stock is aging. And I think that going forward, we may have to do more of those types of projects.
Now, do you ever get the homeowners themselves involved in helping with the repairs?
We do on occasion when possible. The median age of our clients is 70, so because of that, that does limit the number of clients who are able to work with us to replace this, to replace their homes. But we do make every attempt to get the client and the homeowner involved in the repair or the replacement of their home in any way that's feasible.
Okay, one of the final focus area that you focus on is indoor plumbing rehabilitation. Talk a little bit about that program.
We have operated that program, I believe, since 2005. It's a program the core funding comes from the state of Virginia, and that we privately have raised money working in conjunction with one of the Leadership Historic Triangle classes from several years ago. Those projects address homes that either lack indoor plumbing or lack functional indoor plumbing. One of the things we find in this area is that there were a lot of homemade septic systems that were put in the 1950s or earlier that are little more than pits in the ground. So those do qualify under that program, and we will go in and address that situation, adding either a connection to sanitary sewer or adding a new septic system. In addition, we will address any safety issues in the house to make sure that that can be addressed. Those programs are actually one of our, we do some loan programs, and that's one of our loan programs. It's a 0% interest loan that the family will have a lien against the property, and it's a great program, and we've been very successful with it, which we're proud of that, but at the same time we're sorry that we have so much need in this community that we've been able to do as much work in that program as we have.
Okay. Is there a great demand for the type of services that you provide?
There is.
And why?
We maintain a waiting list at all times. Unfortunately, our funding, as most nonprofits and local governments, has been affected by the economy. So we do not have the funding that we may have had several years ago to address these issues. Also, the economy has affected household income, as we all know, and we all feel it ourselves. People are deferring maintenance on their homes longer and longer, and then what could have been a preventative fix now becomes a
major problem.
A major problem. And with the population aging in this community, it's that one last additional kind of driving force that we see. As people have retired out and with the economy turned down, they don't have the income that they may have thought they would have in retirement, and they suddenly find that what would not have been as monumental a few years ago, suddenly an $8,000 roof replacement can be quite a challenge for someone on a fixed income.
Right. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the eligibility requirements and more about the volunteers.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Preparing today reduces the consequences of a disaster tomorrow.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Welcome back to County Courier. I'm talking with Abbott Woodall, the Executive Director for Housing Partnerships. Welcome back, Abbott. Talk to me a little bit about the Community Development Block Grant. I know that you're working in the Barlow Road area now. Tell me a little bit more about that.
One of the things that we do at Housing Partnerships is we will seek out communities where we can do neighborhood-wide revitalization projects. We applied with the county for was a Community Development Block Grant. It's a federal grant that provided loan funds to repair existing housing units in the Barlow Road community. We were awarded what was a $1.2 million project. The funding was entirely from the federal government and from Housing Partnerships. The county is providing a lot of administrative support with the project. And the beauty of that program is it allows us to address not just one house, but a whole community where we can go in and improve the structures, the septic systems that they're having some issues with out there. If there's any blighting properties where we've been able to demolish those and take those down. So it not only does it improve that one house, but it improves everyone's property values and improves everyone's community. And it's a really great program. We were able to get, I believe we're at 22 units right now out of that we've been able to do. And we're working on the planning phase for an additional project in another community in York County, which hopefully we'll be able to announce something in the next year or so.
Now, are the application process and criteria the same for projects like the Community Block Program as it is for any other project that you would provide?
Primarily, we work exclusively with owner-occupied homes, so we do not do rental properties. We have to verify ownership of those properties, and we have to provide documentation verifying the income. For our local program, we work with clients who are at or below 50% of the area's median income based on their household size. That's a determination that's made every year by HUD, and then we get that. It's a sliding scale for income qualifications. On the federal programs, many of them go up to 80% of the area median income, so it allows us to serve a little bit of a broader band of clients. Most of our clients, though, fall well below even the 50% threshold. The average income of our clients is right at $12,000 a year.
How long does it normally take once an application is submitted to you to until the person is notified whether or not their application has been approved or denied for services?
It fluctuates a little bit in that we have to wait on funding availability. Unfortunately, right now things are so tight that what we've been forced to do is take applications and give people a, if you will, a conditional response that yes, we believe this is something that we would like to do, but as funding is available, we will address those issues. In good times and normal times, we try to, within 30 days, get back to our clients. The reason why we would say 30 days is that we meet monthly with a group of citizens who really determine the work that we're going to do and the amount of investment we do, and those are comprised of representatives from local social services, housing agencies, and other entities that figure into the type of work that we do, and that just gets our community buy-in and makes sure that we're being good stewards of the local money and the private donations that we receive.
Right. Can you give a typical scenario of an applicant?
I would say a typical scenario would be you would come in one of two ways. You would either come in through social service referral or from another social agency referral, or you would come in after having seen one of our vehicles in a neighborhood. We'll sometimes get a call from that. Once they come in the door, all applications are treated the same. We would typically send out the initial response is we will send out an application to them. At that time, they fill it out, get it back to us. I will send out one of our project managers who will assess the house, assess the needs, and give me an estimate on costs and how many volunteer hours and the level of volunteer skill that would be needed to do that project. At that point, it goes to our monthly core group meeting, which is that group of concerned citizens, and we would decide at that point what we're going to do. Immediately thereafter, usually the following week, we would contact clients and start scheduling based upon our volunteer groups and abilities to get that addressed as quickly as possible.
I know you work very closely with local governments on projects and funding. Talk a little bit more about some of those relationships.
We are very fortunate to have strong partners with all three jurisdictions. We work very closely with them, and they are also some of our referring entities that refer those cases into us. Oftentimes they may have some funding that is available to them that's not available to us. In that situation, we would work as a contractor and providing our volunteer labor to subsidize the cost so that those resources are also stretched as far as possible. We really view ourselves, as our name indicates, as we're not doing this alone. We're doing it in partnership with the community and with those local government entities, and really trying to make all of our resources go as far as possible to address the need in the community.
Okay. Do you conduct fundraising activities?
We do. We have annual fundraisers. Our next fundraiser will be in September. We will be having a benefit concert for our indoor plumbing program. We call it, locally, we call it our PIPE program. It's providing indoor plumbing for everyone. So for those out there who are interested in Jimmy Buffett, we have a Jimmy Buffett tribute band that would be playing at Lake Matoka Amphitheater, and we'd love to have folks out there. And we also take donations at any given time. We'll gladly take those. We will be, we have some other fundraisers that happen throughout the course of the year as well.
Okay. How can someone make a donation?
You can contact our office at 221-0225. That again is 757-221-0225. And our address is 115 Palace Lane, Williamsburg, Virginia, 23185.
Okay, do you have an online application for people to fill out, or do they have to call in or come into the office when they're applying for services?
They can apply online. We are at http://housingpartnerships.org. The website is getting ready to get overhauled, so typically the best solution is to call the office, and we'll do it that way. hopefully within the next month or so, we'll have a new website up that'll be a little more user-friendly.
Okay, I have enjoyed talking with you. Have any final thoughts?
I just want the folks out there to know that, again, we do rely heavily upon volunteer labor and upon the donations from our community. We are majoritively funded by local contributions, and the work that we do is ensuring that our less fortunate neighbors can continue to live in their homes. And we would welcome anyone who's interested in volunteering or getting involved in any of our fundraising activities to please contact us. Thank you for your time, and it's been a great day.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and we really appreciate the services that you provide throughout the community. Thank you. That's our show for today. Thank you for watching County Courier.